So, as you can see, the power of social media right now is evident everywhere. I mean, when I saw this, because this is new stats that came out this year, that the age for someone to go onto LinkedIn has dropped to the age of 13, I realized in a week and a half, my daughter turns 13. I'm going to have to train up my daughter in what I do as a business so that she can be more effective in business. That scares me. I'm not sure about you guys and how old your children are, but that really does scare me. So, sorry, wrong slide. I'm going to go through a few things on things that your LinkedIn profile must have and things that you should be doing with your LinkedIn continuously if you're going to make it effective within your business environment. So LinkedIn is not Facebook. LinkedIn is something that you can use to communicate, collaborate, and show as a thought leader in your industry if you use it effective enough. So have a decent professional profile picture. So I'm not saying, go out and go do a photography shoot and it's going to cost you a couple of $100 or what, 100 Rand, and hopefully, you get a nice shot and that's the one you use. But just not one from your holiday, not one with your kids or your dogs or your, whatever that is. Something that, also not one where you're at the party and you look like you're so relaxed. So I'll give you a couple of examples just to give you an idea. Have updated information and details on your LinkedIn. So link in with companies you've worked with at before. So when when it goes through to experience, make sure that you type in the name, that it actually registers the name that you worked at previously. It helps for credibility because then they recognize a logo and go, oh, you worked there. Sometimes people don't like reading, we're lazy. So they'll see the logo because the logo is then linked to the company because of the company page. You have more credibility because you link to the company page so they can contact the company directly. It included your company details of what you did. So it's like a CV, but it's not a CV. You can utilize your LinkedIn. I mean, a lot of recruiters utilize LinkedIn to search for people. So the more information you have on your CV, the better for you, like your qualifications, your courses you've done, your certifications, your everything that you have and have done, make sure it's there. We'll give you more detail on that a little bit later on in the webinar. And your summary. A summary is about who you are, okay, and what you do. So it's a first line introduction. Now you saw on the video a goldfish had 8 seconds attention span. A human has 7. Yes. So you've got 7 seconds to grab someone's attention and make sure that you can get them to read further into your profile or make contact with you to want to know more. So you have those 7 seconds to grab that person's attention. Make sure that it's 7 seconds worthwhile, otherwise it's possibly a missed opportunity. So continuous work that you need to do on your profile is things like recommendations, connecting, sharing, and group engagement. So recommendations is something, it's a reference letter. After you leave a company, someone, gives a reference letter. A recommendation is something to that effect, except it could be someone you're working with currently. It could be your current boss. It could be current clients. As long as you connected with them on the first level, so your first degree connections, you can ask them for a recommendation. They can give you a recommendation. They can change it. This is important. They can change it at any time. So don't think that, oh, I've got a nice recommendation. Now I'm going to bust up the relationship. It's not going to work for you because they can pull that recommendation at any time because it's linked back to their file. So it gives you another sense of credibility out there in the market. When you're connecting with people, make sure that you add in a small little note to say why you would like to connect with them, because that also reminds you what was it about them that you wanted to connect with, because then it comes up as a message once you've connected. Sharing, so sharing of information, sharing industry knowledge, sharing industry best practices, sharing your, what you think about certain things is also very important. Group engagement, I have picked up over the years many leads that have been active, looking around in groups, and people will say, I'm looking for a talent management system. I will then go and say, I'd like to connect with you or set up an appointment. I have picked up many leads just because I am consistently looking around on LinkedIn to see who needs assistance or who I can help because I'm connected to someone who can maybe help them. So it's not just about me getting a sale, but it's also about building the trust and building connections and building the go-to place of how to help people out in the industry. So it gives you credibility in the industry as well. So I thought, as a little bit of a funny, photos, do's and don'ts. So the top line, don't use those photos. Those are Facebook photos and very cool Facebook photos. But as you can see at the bottom, I've purposely not done professional photo shoots because then it would defeat the object of saying to everybody that, doesn't need to be a professional photo shoot. So it can be something, but something with a neutral background. So you can see in all the ones at the bottom, it has a neutral background. Although the one in the middle still was outside, it was still a neutral background. No trees and birds and cats and children and everything else in the background of that one. I hope that gives a little bit more clarity on what types of photos to use. So let's take a look at LinkedIn itself. So sorry, I've had the flu and laryngitis, so please excuse when my voice goes a little bit croaky. Let's take a look at LinkedIn. So this is your landing page come into LinkedIn. As you can see, you've got my picture. This is now what my profile little picture, what my landing page looks like. You have the home at the top. You've got my network, jobs, message, notifications, and then the me drop down button. This information here is, you've got your feed. So where you see the name Portia, that is your feed. Now, in Facebook, we also know it as a feed. This also has a feed. So when you like or comment, you don't necessarily have to share someone else's article. You just need to like or comment on it, and it will be in your feed that you have contributed towards this process. The more you like, the more you contribute, the more you share, the higher you are in when people are searching for your capabilities within LinkedIn. So for instance, sorry, they're looking for a SAP consultant. If they search SAP consultant, many other people will come up and not necessarily your name on page 1 or 2. Now, let's all be honest, we all kind of focus on, especially when we're Googling or looking anywhere else, we will always focus on page 1 or 2. Many people don't go page 3, 4, 5, 6, and, no, there was someone specific, I remember his face. So make sure that you are searchable within LinkedIn. So I'm going to give you the tips and tricks on how to put what information to put into your profile to make sure that you are searchable within your LinkedIn profile. So under the Me button, you have you can click there, and it comes up where you can go and edit your profile. Now, on my profile, you'll see I have a background picture. Now, my photo, so I have updated my photo since it was updated, I think, this week. My background, though, is an opportunity to promote where I work. So previously it would have something about the other stuff that I was doing. Now it has all about my company. And with that, that's where you have an opportunity from a branding perspective. Your photo, though, is a picture of you, not your business icon, not anything else. Because people want to talk to people. People don't buy from a logo. They want to know who are they connecting with, who are they chatting with. So make sure that you do have a profile and that's there. So update your background photo to something that's relevant to what you currently do. If you click on the three little dots, you then are able to either share someone's profile. So what does that mean? You can find someone's profile and think it's a really great profile. Maybe you're looking at recruiting, and you know and you wanting to share this with your boss because this was a great profile. There's an opportunity to share that profile there. The other thing is, remember that the people you go and see and meet with on a regular basis, they Google you. Why are you not Googling them? Go onto their profile. Let them know that you've had a look at their profile. So, some people have premium access, and you can turn off and, go anonymously and go secretively look at someone. But that defeats the object of networking. I'd like to know who looks at my profile, and if there's maybe an opportunity to do business. If someone wants to meet with me, I want to know that they've had a look at who I am and what I do before they come in there, ask me a whole bunch of questions that they could have actually had a more informative discussion, knowing a little bit more about me. Granted, some people's LinkedIn profiles have very little information in. Very lucky if you actually get, you know, I enjoy this, I enjoy that, that kind of thing. And that's where you kind of stalk them on Facebook or something. But this is an opportunity to find out more about the person you're about to meet with. What are their strategies? What are they looking for and what looking to achieve from a business perspective? How can you help them look good from a business perspective? So go to their profile and save their profile to PDF. That way, you've gone once onto their profile, you've got access to their information. Just before you have the meeting again, just go through it, through the PDF information to make sure that you've got the relevant information, updated stuff. So that's something I would highly recommend, especially when you're in sales and in the type of industry you guys are in. That would definitely be something that would help you going forward. On the little drawing button, when you click on that, it comes up to edit your introduction details. This is where you can change your photo, and this is where you can change your first name, your last name, and your headline. Now, yes, your headline thing, it automatically, when you first update your LinkedIn profile, it automatically will say sales executive at ABC shoes. Now, that's all well and great, but you don't want someone to know initially that all you're wanting that let's face it, salespeople have a nasty rep in the market. You don't want them to get a negative vibe from you before you even started a conversation. So my suggestion is you change your headline to something that would entice someone to have a look at you even further. And you'll see that I've added a little bit of quirkiness to myself because that's who I am. So people will know I have a sense of humor before they even meet me. So my headline is Empowering Businesses and Individuals with LinkedIn for Business, a Sales Enabler, and Wonder Woman. Now, you guys giggling in the background, yes, I say Wonder Woman because, and later on in the detail and the summary of, I say, and yes, you might be wanting to know more about Wonder Woman. I wonder where my keys are. I wonder where my phone is. I want, so, it then getting them to go, well, what's the Wonder Woman about? And they kind of go and have a look more in depth into your detail. Remember, this is part of your 7 seconds where people will say, I want to connect with you or not. Okay. So make it enticing. You'll have a lot more information, what industry are you in, your telephone, your email, all of that. So here's in the summary, you put in, remember the first 2 sentences or 3 sentences is the first 2 or 3 sentences that people will see before they say read more. You want them to read more, so make sure the first 2 sentences is enticing enough for them to go, what is this all about? You also have an option to upload any media. So you might have something really interesting. For instance, the Socialnomics video, I've uploaded that to my profile as a link. So you link to media. I've uploaded it because it's something that's relevant. It's the why behind why I do what I do. I'm passionate about helping others to connect to each other to make sure that there's business connect and people flourish in business. Because if I'm helping others, I will be helped as well. So it's that help others to help yourself. Make sure that that information, you can put quite a lot of information in there. Put as much detail in there, but make sure that the first two sentences are enticing enough. This is your online portfolio, and you want to make sure that it's something that people will come back to, or connect with you or message you and say, Caesar, I really would like to know more about that SAP Business One solution. Or Darren, I really enjoyed your humor in whatever it is, make sure that it's something that will entice people to want to come back for more. Within your profile, you've also got editing, part of your editing, your details further down your profile, you've got an option to add in skills. Now, skills is kind of a list of things you can do. And you guys go, but people endorse me and, they don't even know me. Yes, I know, it irritates me too. Until I understood the why behind having the skills endorsed. Now, when someone is looking for employee training or direct marketing or something like that, and I've been endorsed, 57,000 times, when someone does a search for someone who does employee training, I'm at the top of that list. Why? Because people have endorsed me saying I am good at that. So make sure that you have the skills there listed for people to endorse, and just allow it to happen, because when your profile becomes more searchable, and I'm not talking about for recruitment though, but I'm talking for your clients when they're looking for something and they post and they say, we'd like to know your post, your comment will also filter up higher because your profile is a higher brand, as per se, to kind of filter up to the top. So it's the analytics behind the LinkedIn. So it's similar to Google. It's similar to most search engines these days. Make sure that you're active, that you have your skills endorsed, that you have all of that information there, because that is how you become searchable. I mean, not one day goes by where I don't add 2 to 3 people to my LinkedIn at least, where they are connecting with me. So they've looked for me, searched for me, connected with me. I then ping them and say, I love the fact that you connected with me. How can I help you? Is there something that connected you with my profile? Let's chat, let's have a coffee, whatever that looks like. There's an opportunity to start up a conversation. So make sure that you're searchable so that people will link in with you. These are the recommendations I was talking about. So these are your, reference letters per se, but it's live reference letters. So you want to make sure that people are consistently recommending you, that you are credible for what you do. So, there you probably need 5 or 6 recommendations to make a great effect on LinkedIn. If you have more, that's great. It just gives you more credibility with your client, but not necessarily the searchability within LinkedIn. So the analytics goes up to about 5 or 6 recommendations, which is still sometimes very hard for people to get. Depending on your personality, you might have a difficulty. So just recommend. So my recommendation: recommend others, because it will come back to you. Even within the group that you guys are in currently, I know that I think you guys are all part of one, team or extended team. Recommend each other from just different companies, but the kinds of work and the kinds of clients, it just helps build up your portfolio of evidence per se. Okay, before we go to continuous work, I just wanted to know, are there any questions so far while I take a sip of water? I don't see any questions yet. So I take it everything I'm saying is understandable. Okay, awesome. Okay, so this is what I do to make sure that I'm successful in, and then there's a lot of other things I do on a regular basis. The reason, this is more of an introduction on how to set up your profile to become more effective on LinkedIn. Types of things I do on a regular basis that actually gets appointments and face-to-face conversations and coffee connects is, in the more in-depth training, which is probably about 2.5 hours long. And that's, you guys can go onto the website for. But continuous work every day. Take time to schedule 15 minutes. It's not a lot of time, but it's hard to actually get into that rhythm if you not use that rhythm. Take 15 minutes and work through your feed. So go through your feed, collaborate, share. Also look for new people to connect with. So personalize your notes. So something I said earlier, personalize, give them a reason to connect, because that comes through on the email that comes through to them and says, I'd like to connect with you as I believe Business One will actually help you with something there. Just to give you an example, last week um, a sales director posted on some picture about some salesperson working at 4 o'clock in the morning or something. And he posted saying, uh, people buy from people, so the person shouldn't be sitting in the office. So I connected with him, and in my connect note, I said, I'd love to connect with you because, yes, people do buy from people, so I'd love to do coffee. He connected with him, and I have a meeting with him next week. It's that easy. Now, it's not, it sounds, yeah, but that only worked once. No, this is how it's this and a lot of other things that I can show you on a regular basis that can really increase your appointments without picking up the phone. I promise you, I have not picked up the phone since I started my business because, as in, maybe just to confirm appointments and things like that. But to get new appointments, I am utilizing the tool I am telling everybody else works for business. So, no word of a lie there. So, keep your profile updated. This includes current position. Keep your picture current. So, yes, okay, ladies. Okay, so I had a haircut this morning. Guess what? I'm going to have to update my profile picture again. Why? Because that's what girls have to do. If you see me in a coffee shop and we're meeting up for coffee, I want you to be able to recognize me immediately, because that also gives another sense of credibility. If your photo is one of 20 years ago because you think that you looked hot and awesome and Mr. Muscle or whatever it was back then 20 years ago, it's not going to give you credibility when you're meeting that person for the first time. Whether it be in the offices or a coffee shop, they want to be able to recognize you and go, yes, I know you from your profile picture, that is you. So it just makes the connect so much easier, knowing that the trust is not broken because of old photo. Don't use company logo. Okay, guys, some people have this long-winded, they'll send me a connect, they'll connect with me, and then I'll either get an email, which is about 7 pages long, or I will get a note in my LinkedIn that tells me, it's probably about 7 paragraphs long, but it's still just as long, telling me all about their business and why I must meet with them. And then I get a little message right at the bottom saying, would Tuesday or Thursday be better for you? It does not work. Okay? Your initial note to the person has to be maximum 2 paragraphs at the most. What is it about them that you want to meet with, and how will it benefit them to meet with you? Not any of these one long-winded information brochures that you want to send through to them. That doesn't work. I know I get irritated if someone sends it to me. How much more does an executive that you're trying to set up an appointment with get more irritated, and by the second sentence gets, just closes the email or closes the inbox message. So make it as short and succinct as possible to get your message across. Remember, 7 seconds. You have 7 seconds to make an impression. Don't make a bad impression. And I've mentioned this earlier, so don't have private mode when your viewing is activated, because this is a networking opportunity. This is if someone views your profile and you're not connected with them, there's an opportunity to view their profile back and possibly connect with them if there's some sort of interest in terms of doing business together. If it's someone, with all due respect, I've had people spam me from, students when they link in with me, that kind of thing. I don't generally link in with, students and things like that, but business people, I will link in. Say yes to most people. Why? Because you don't know who they might know or be doing research for. Always allow people, we're all 6 degrees separated, allow for that opportunity. There will be something that they might like of someone in their group that you will see, oh, they look for a new ERP system. There's a wonderful opportunity. Let's go and grab it. You would not have seen it if you did not connect with that person when you actually did your 15 minutes a day. I hope this is all making sense as to why utilizing LinkedIn for business and keeping your profile updated. I hope this is making sense to you guys. I don't see anyone dropping off and dying in the, so I'm sure that that's a good thing. So, I mean, I'm keeping it short and sweet because my voice is still really battling. As you can hear, it's still very croaky. Last week when I did the presentation, it was really terrible. I had to go to the doctor straight up. Is there any specific questions that you guys may have that you'd like me to cover still? Am I missing anything? Oh, you're welcome, Darren. I think at least as long as added value, and I think that's important for me. And I know I mean, I've been where you guys are at in terms of, selling ERPs to these huge corporate clients, and how do we look for people, and how do we connect, and what do we do? And I was thrown into the deep end. So here's a little bit of the story of how I started with LinkedIn. I was thrown into the deep end where my executive said to me, we are doing a Talent 2.0 launch, and we need